Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. I am your host, the fellow KGP. Tonight's going to be a special episode. We're going to do a quick little live waiver wire show. I usually just do these and upload them, but I figured it's playoff time. It might be a Final Four championship weekend for you, so I figured I'll do live. If anyone pops in for questions, please feel free to do so, or you can comment below. But we're looking at for me, at least in my schedules, we're in the Final Four weekend, so we're trying to get into the championship weekend. What's going on, Justin, man? I figured I'd hop in live tonight for about 15, 20 minutes and answer some questions. I'll present some players that I've been looking at, and then I want to show you guys couple of the players that I've added for this week specifically. So one of the guys that I added was O'Shea Brissett. I don't know how he was available. Someone in my league dropped him because they needed a guy that played like 2 games or something in 2 days. So I was able to scoop up O'Shea Brissett. He's about 51% rostered, and he's just been on a tear lately since he got called up from the G League. You see, ever since about April 19th, he's just been putting up some really massive numbers. And the best part about getting O'Shea Brissett or Indiana Pacers in general, we're going to see here. I'll show you guys the NBA schedule here. Going forward, I guess there's only one team with 5 games this week. That's Detroit. I think if you're probably well aware of that. But Indiana plays 4 games this week, and then championship week they play 5 games. So I'm really into adding some of these teams here with Memphis, San Antonio, Indy, and Milwaukee. So we can get into some of those guys towards the end. But for this week, handful of teams with 4 games. Only Detroit Pistons play with 5. I'm kind of avoiding some of these teams with 3 players. If you can afford to cut some of these guys, it might be worthwhile. But otherwise, most of them do have 4 games going forward in the final week here. But OKC Thunder players, I might be willing to let some of those guys go. They only have 3 games next week, and they're the only team. I guess Detroit as well. So just Detroit for 1 week here. And I kind of keep pulling that up here. But I just want to show you guys anybody else that I might have added. Let me pull up here. So I got O'Shea Brissett for the week. I added Lonnie Walker last week just because, again, he's got 4 games this week and 5 week 20, and he's playing pretty well here. His minutes are up. Again, this is probably directly correlated to Derek White. So just 3 really solid games, and I got 9 more games out of him the rest of the way. Let me see what Justin's got going on here. Yeah, we got the first round matchup, man. 5-year drought. Okay, we did it, man. Congrats. Let's get you through the Final Four to the championship. Picked up Stewart, and you think Kent will pretty good. All right, so yeah, I was gonna show you guys in a sec here. I have Kelly Oubre on my team, the team that I care most about. So I just simply added Kenbazmore. He's been playing really, really well, and we don't really know what's up with. We don't know, like, Kelly Oubre's got like a fractured palm and some weird thing going on with his hand and his wrist. Torn ligament in his wrist. So I think Kenbazmore is probably the best add to directly replace Kelly Oubre. And if we look at the schedule real quick, Golden State's got 4 games and 4 games the next 2 weekends. So it's a really safe add, I think, for Bazmore. So I like Kenbazmore pretty much just as good as any player available on the board right now. And then I picked up Stewart. I love Isaiah Stewart. He's actually going to be on the watch list as we talk about. Let me kind of filter this. Isaiah Stewart's probably one of my favorite players that you could pick up because, again, Detroit plays 5 games. So that's going to be Sadiq Bey. That's going to be Isaiah Stewart. I'm thinking if there's anybody else on this list. I did add Corey Joseph, but he's been kind of in and out. Hamadou Diallo's kind of in and out too. Killian Hayes is a decent guy as well, but he's in and out. So I think if you're looking for Pistons this week, it's Sadiq Bey, who's only 28% owned. And then probably, at this point, Isaiah Stewart, man, he's only 38% owned, but he's probably my favorite one that you could add, center and power forward eligible. He's just been really solid like the last maybe 3-4 weeks of fantasy basketball. So I like these names quite a bit. Yeah, go pick up Bazmore if you can. And then you also picked up Lonnie. Yeah, man. And I don't know what's up with Derek White when he's coming back. Let me see if I can find a report on him real quick. Man, I'm Justin. I think you have SGA, right? I'm holding out hope, man. If SGA can come back this week, that would be really cool. Oh wow, White's unlikely to play again this season. So Lonnie Walker, man. Lonnie Walker looks like he's going to be a useful player for us. And then yeah, man, Kem Burch. He will be good. So the unfortunate news is with Kem Burch, he's only got 3 games this week, but the way he's been playing, like he's going to get us like 100 to 120 points in those 3 games. And then next week, he's going to be fine for his 4 games. So I'm pretty excited about Kem Burch. So you can see I've got some Kem Burch down here. And his numbers have been phenomenal. He's only 36.3% owned. So if you're feeling pretty good about your matchup this week, you could add him. I mean, if you just look and add up like any 3 of his scores, like there's a good chance you're going to get a 30-point game, maybe a 40-point game. And then this was his lowest game, but I mean, it was the Lakers. They didn't really have much of a chance in that one. So I don't know if he was just bodied up by Anthony Davis or what. But man, Ken Burch, definitely a sneaky ad if you're hopeful to get into the championship next week. So I like Ken Burch quite a bit. And then I want to see if there's anybody else on my list that I added. I did add Doug McDermott this week because he's been playing really well too. You look at his minutes the last 2 games, 27 and 32. His points, he scored 5 straight games in over double figures, and he had a season high of 31 just 2 days ago. So a 36, a 25, a 21, a 21, a 21. If I get 4 games out of Doug McDermott this week, somewhere in that 21 to 25 range, I'm pretty happy. And then again, in week 20, you're going to see, here, let me filter. You're going to see Indiana with 5 games. So I'm really interested in a couple of these teams. I don't think Detroit's got that, do they? Let me go back, actually. I got to do all my filters here. We'll unfilter that, and then we'll hit filter. Yeah, Detroit's only got 3. So week 20, you got Memphis, San Antonio, Indy, and Milwaukee, all with 5 games. So I think McDermott could be a nice 2-week play for the rest of the season. Let me see what else. Do we trust in Ruri? Let's see. Yeah, let's take a look at Ruri real quick. I might be going to see the Bucks-Wizards game on Wednesday night, pending some tickets. Okay, so you got Ruri. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So he's only got 1 game in those last 3 days. I mean, I think he's probably. Let me just look at the numbers real quick. So he's got 3 games in the next 4 days. I mean, if we just count it as 20 points per game, that's about 60 points. Let's see. That's interesting. And then you maybe get a guy that's got 2 out of 3 games for this back end here. Let me see. Should we drop Doug? Should I drop Doug for Rocco or drop Ruri on Thursday for him? Should I drop Doug for Rocco or drop Ruri on Thursday for him? So you're sitting with, you currently have Ruri. You kind of have, yeah. Should I add Doug for Rocco? So I'm glad you didn't. You ended up not dropping Robert Covington because that one was kind of haunting me for a few days because he had a nice game last week. I would kind of view Ruri and Doug the same. Let me hit the compare tool, and then we'll look at their schedules real quick. So we got Doug, we got Ruri, and we got Doug. Okay, so this week they all play tonight. They all play Wednesday. Looks like Rocco is off there Thursday. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So neither of them plays Sunday. I guess Covington's nice because he plays Friday and Saturday. I mean, these guys are all kind of the same, I think. If you're looking to make a move, at the moment, Doug McDermott's averaging the most. And if you want to get ahead for next week, I think McDermott might be the guy to potentially snag here. And then again, the reason that I did it is because Miles Turner's out indefinitely. Jakar Sampson's concussion. Malcolm Brogdon's been kind of in and out of the lineup lately. So I think Doug might be the guy. Should I add Doug for Rocco or drop Ruri on Thursday for him? Let me look at that again. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you're trying to drop Rocco on Thursday and pick up. I guess it doesn't really add a game, so it's still 2 games either way. Should I drop Doug for Rocco, or should I add Doug for Rocco or drop Ruri on Thursday for him? Why don't you, if you're going to plan to get Doug for next week, you can maybe add him for this Friday game, if that's what you're looking to do. I wish I could see farther into the schedule, or if you could add maybe Doug on Saturday too, and you just get him. I guess May 9th is a Sunday here, so I guess you add him here. You get this game scored on Saturday, nothing on Sunday, but then you're going to get 5 games starting on May 10th. So I think that's probably what I would do. I would try to add Doug here on Thursday And if you are interested, I mean, Covington versus the Lakers, I would say give me Rui Hachimura against Toronto. So we're probably going to cut Covington. I would cut, yeah, I would cut Covington. Or technically, you could cut Covington here on the 6th and pick up McDermott here too if you wanted to just get a little bit early on it. So let me just see. I just want to show you guys a couple of other players that I was looking at. If anyone dropped Chuma Okeke, I'm not sure when he's coming back, but I noticed he was starting to lose some ownership here. So he's not playing tonight, but he on the Orlando Magic side of things, he does have 4 games this week and 4 next week. So there's potential. Like if he gets back into the swing of things, you might get a handful of games out of him yet. So just keep an eye on him and add him to your watch list and just read his blurbs whenever there's a new one out. I think my favorite pickups for the week are Saddiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart. They're both under 40% owned, so there's a good possibility that you can snag those guys. Bobby Portis has been kind of unhealthy the last no, he's been playing the games. His minutes have just been weird, but he's had 2 massive games against Chicago and Houston. He didn't play against Brooklyn yesterday, so I'm not sure what to expect with that. But if you need somebody to keep an eye on for week 20, the Bucks do play 5 games next week. So I'm not saying to add Portis now, but potentially for next week. So yeah, man, have a good night, Justin. We'll talk. I'll be live tomorrow night, so we'll hang out. We'll hang out on Tuesday, man. Have a good night. And then DeMarcus Cousins was one that caught my eye. Now, the Clippers are not a team that has a lot of games remaining, but you look at what Cousins has been doing the last 3 games. You see 27, 33, 26. The minutes are kind of, 14, 15, and then a 25 with the double-double. That's if we can get 25 minutes per game out of Boogie Cousins, I think that's going to be exciting. Just the only thing that sucks is you see the Clippers. They only have 3 games this week. Let me see. If we go, let me just add Cousins to this list. I'm just curious what his schedule looks like. So they're all kind of spread out too. So 1, 2, and then on Sunday, I would potentially add, if you're interested in getting Cousins, you can add him the morning of the 9th, which is Sunday. Add him Sunday morning, so you get an extra score on Sunday, and then you're also going to get 4 games from the Clippers next week. So if you wanted to get a little bit of a head for next week, I think that's where you would add Cousins. Cole Anthony needs to be owned in all leagues. He's about 50% owned. Tim Hardaway does have 4 games this week and 5 next week. Jeff Green's been solid. I don't think Brooklyn's only got 3 games this week, so I'm not excited about him just yet, but more for next week if you can make the move. Ariza's been playing really well. Marvin Bagley is back. He's only 40% owned, and he just had a really nice game last night. So 23 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. It's only 40% owned. So let's just look at Sacramento real quick. Sacramento's got 4 games this week and 4 next week. So if Marvin Bagley's chilling on the waiver wire, this is probably a really, really good add too. And I might even do Marvin Bagley over Saddiq Bey. I'd probably want Isaiah Stewart and Saddiq Bey maybe just a little bit more, but I think Marvin Bagley's up there with my favorite pickups for the week. Elise Johnson has been playing well. He didn't play very well yesterday, so he's kind of off my list, but you see a 23 and a 57. Hard to trust. He's on the Brooklyn Nets. They only got 3 games this week, so we'll just kind of monitor him going forward. Daniel Tice has been playing well. I think Vucevic missed the game the other day, so that allowed him to get a nice start and get some good minutes here. But, I mean, the handful of his, maybe 5 of the last 6 games, he's been over 20 points. He had a 52-point game. So he does have some outburst potential. Let's see what else. Dwight Howard's on the list. He's been playing pretty well. Even with a healthy Joel Embiid, you see a 40 and a 38 the last 2 games. A 5.5 is not what you need, but 28, 38, 14, 27, 22. With Philadelphia, they got 4 games this week and 4 next week. You might be hoping to hit at least 100 points a week with Dwight Howard. And again, he's only 15% owned, so I think he's a pretty sneaky player to add. You got another Detroit Piston here in Frank Jackson. Now, he's been playing a lot of minutes lately. You see 34, 27, 25. Really good scorer. He's on a good little streak right here. Good rebounding point guard as well. And just steady points. If he can keep these minutes up, it depends really on the health of some of the other players. But in a week with 5 games, I think he's worth a potential look, especially because he's only 5% owned. You need some help. Frank Jackson should be available in almost every league. We talked about Corey Joseph. Not excited about Tristan Thompson or Robert Williams. They only got 3 games this week, you see here. But they do have 4 games next week, so if you can kind of hold on to them, that might be okay to do so. Mo Bamba's kind of back in the swing of things too. He did miss a couple games early, I guess in the middle of the month of April, but now he's back into his minutes. He's at over 20 minutes per game. Not so great game on Friday or Saturday against Memphis, but his floor is about 20 points. They get 4 games this week, 4 games next week. Rajon Rondo, not excited about him this week, but again, on the Clippers, if you add him Sunday morning, you're going to get him Sunday, and then 4 games for next week. So if you need some extra push, that's where I'll probably add my Clippers. Hamidou Diallo. If he's going to play, I might add him for, let me see the schedule here. Let's look at the Pistons schedule. See, the problem is with Hamidou is he doesn't really play back-to-backs. So if he's going to play tonight, he's probably not going to play tomorrow night. So if you're interested in Diallo, you got to watch his practice and his news reports. Kevin Love's only 50% owned. He's solid. I don't know what happened in this 0 points, 10 rebound game, but he's 50% owned. If you need some help there, this is probably a pretty safe add as well. Let me see. Cleveland does have 4 games this week, 4 games next week. So this whole chunk of teams with 4 and 4, I'm all about adding these guys. So that's Dallas, Washington, Phoenix, Charlotte, Chicago, Portland, Cleveland, Denver, Philly, Utah, the Pelicans, Sacramento, Orlando, LA Lakers, Golden State, and New York. So all these teams are kind of fair game for me. If you're looking at adding someone from those teams, those are the safe plays. If you're looking for a guy this week, again, it's Detroit. But if you're really, I think the smartest decisions right now are to add teams with Memphis, San Antonio, and Indiana, because they have 4 games this week and 5 next week for the championship. So these are the teams I'm really looking into. Again, with San Antonio, I'm going to recommend Lonnie Walker. Now that we know Derek White's out for the season, with Indiana, you're talking O'Shea Brissett, you're talking Doug McDermott. Those are a couple big names here that you could add for maybe 9 games. 4 and 5. So with Memphis, though, we'll see if we can find one. I think Brandon Clark's been kind of dropped low enough here. So if he's available, I like Brandon Clark quite a bit. Again, he's got 9 more games the rest of the way. And then I'm probably just holding on to my OKC guys for the rest of this week since they do play 4 games. Darius Bazley, Ty Jerome's been playing well, and same with Isaiah Roby, but I'm not super attached to my OKC guys because I know I'll probably be dumping them in the future. So I think if you guys got any more questions, I can answer that. Fill up the comment section. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're new. We're going live tomorrow, Tuesday night, probably around, I think we usually do it 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So I'll be here for your questions, and hopefully get you guys some good answers. And let's get through this Final Four week and into the championship. But thank you guys for your time. Have a good rest of your evening, morning, whatever you need. We'll see you guys later. Peace.